Wait, something's off here. The reflection is still out of sync. Unplayable! Sonic Colors is not only one of the first proper video games I ever played, but it's one of my favorite games of all time. All of you cringe, hardcore gamers who actually take PlayStation vs. Xbox seriously, have your God of Wars, your Tears of the Kingdoms, your Halo 3s, you give me these 4 games, and I'll be a happy camper for the rest of my days. So, obviously, when Sonic Colors Ultimate was announced, I was pretty excited to finally play one of my favorite games on current hardware. I no longer play Sonic Colors on current hardware. I've discussed it on multiple occasions. You can backtrack to see my thoughts on it as a whole later, but in short, while there are a few pretty cool quality of life improvements, the visuals are too bright and shiny, there are animation errors everywhere, glitches are abundant, and I had a seizure. As with any other Sonic game, modders came in to patch up a few of the issues, but nothing was ever really fixed. A lot of the lighting mods were better, but felt kind of flat. The animation fixes were great, but had a few issues that slipped through the cracks, and the Rival Rush icon still doesn't move if I take the Tropical Resort shortcut. Because of that, even with mods, many Sonic fans who never owned a Wii are left in the dark on having a decent legal way to play one of the best modern Sonic games. However, that's all about to change. This is Project Re-Rainbow. It's a project created by Blue Wolf Blitz that sets out to visualize what Sonic Colors would have probably looked like if it was released on the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 rather than the Wii. But Blue Wolf and friends accidentally added an extra ingredient to the concoction. It was a mod for Sonic Colors Ultimate. Thus, the definitive Sonic Colors experience was born. Thanks to Blue Wolf and their amazing generosity, I've been given the opportunity to play an early playtester's version of Project Re-Rainbow, and it has quickly become my preferred way of playing Sonic Colors. It takes nearly every visual issue Colors Ultimate had and completely erases it, producing a wonderful imagery that, to a certain extent, surpasses the original Wii experience. But what exactly makes it so definitive? Well, let's find out. Okay, well, spoilers, it's not that. Like I mentioned before, Project Re-Rainbow doesn't aim to make a better looking Sonic Colors Ultimate. It more so aims to make a higher fidelity version of the Wii version's visuals, picturing what the game would look like if it was released on other major platforms at the time. So it's essentially a better looking Colors Ultimate. To accomplish this, the mod replicates the visuals of other Hedgehog engine games such as Sonic Unleashed and Generations. Comparing Re-Rainbow's graphics to Colors Ultimate, you can immediately tell that the bloom has been heavily lowered while not having everything look flat. It genuinely looks comparable to the more modern games. Are we still considering Sonic Generations a modern game? However, in order to keep these aesthetics, the game has to use resources to compile and capture the reflections, which adds a lot of stutter when booting up the game. But by the time you complete the first level, the rest of the game should run like butter with very little hiccups. Some of my favorite areas remastered in the mod include the obvious Aquarium Park, which I already thought looked pretty decent in the original Colors Ultimate. Now it's gone further beyond and looks absolutely spectacular. Of course, Starlight Carnival Space Road has been blessed with the lack of eye-bleeding bloom, but it seems to have made its way into the internal section because... oh great, my eyes are bleeding again. Most of all, Terminal Velocity brings back the blue hue that it had in the original game, and has this really cool purple shading in Act 2 when the black hole's approaching Sonic. Every other stage also looks absolutely fantastic and sticks very close to their original Wii counterparts, creating this unbelievable showcase that, if it were official, I could easily call this one of the best looking Sonic games. Along with the stage's visuals, a few other things were changed. Sonic's eyes actually moved during a startup animation, the white wisps in the capsules are now 3D models rather than flat images, which was very noticeable in Ultimate. Sonic's animations on the world map now function properly, Tails is affected by the lighting now, there are more wisps in the end capsule, the Jade Wisp has been added to the title screen, and... nope, the Rival Rush icon is still stuck. Although, this mod fixes visual and audible issues, and only visual and audible issues, so any gameplay related issues present in the original Colors Ultimate are still here. This was released for $40. Of course, this is an early unreleased build, so changes are bound to be made. The Jade Wisp will have its own animations on the title screen, the spring sound will be removed in places where it doesn't belong, cutscene revamps are being heavily considered, and hopefully, the Rival Rush icon will be able to move. We can only dream. I'd personally love to see a few other changes be made, such as proper fading transitions being added back into the options menu, and the original Drill Underwater theme being placed back in instead of the Lost World version that was in Colors Ultimate. Even without those though, this entire package is already enough. Project Rainbow, despite not even being finished, is already my preferred way to play Sonic Colors. Taking the original Wii visuals, polishing them up, and using them in the remastered version of the game with all of its quality of life improvements makes this as accessible as a fan-made enhancement of Sonic Colors can be. On top of that, when you add a few game-changing mods in addition to Rainbow that adds back the original life system and fixes other gameplay and UI related issues, you easily have the best legal way to play Sonic Colors. If you haven't already, go check out Blue Wolf and the other developers of this mod to keep up to date with the latest improvements and be among some of the first to play the mod when it's complete and ready to launch. Show them that their modding skills were put to a project that is absolutely worth celebrating. And hopefully Sega can get a team that can do as competent of a job as these guys. Oh, also, just FYI, buy Colors Ultimate on a sale instead of picking it up at full price. You could buy dinner with that money, man.